After much contemplation, the time has come. This garage was finished in multiple stages over the last few years. It's looking quite nice. In the very first stage, I put epoxy on the floor, always knowing that it was not a permanent solution. And today is when it starts to get removed. I'm going to level it. It is not level at all. We have a slope going that way, a little bit that way in places, and water pools over here. Anyway, it's not a level. Somebody didn't care when they put this in. We're going to make it flat, and we're going to porcelain tile the entire garage. It's going to look like a living room. It's going to look nice. The problem is, this is the only flat spot in the entire garage. The majority of it slopes something like this. That's not a good example. Let me pop that up there. To varying degrees. High point of the entire room actually is right there. Low point is against that wall. My laser tells me 2.5 inches. So there's going to be a lot of leveling, filling in, and maybe, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I might make a slight grade for water to go out the front door. We will see. But stage one starts now. This section sounded noticeably hollow when tapped with a hammer, so I broke it all out and refilled it with concrete. And this back corner was at least 2 inches higher than the rest of the floor, so it needed to come out. Because the far wall is the highest point in the room, my original plan was to create a perfectly flat reference surface and then base the rest of the entire room off of that. I used Tapcons in the floor and rapid set concrete to mount my screed boards to make creating that room-wide flat surface a little bit easier for me. What the heck happened? We went from doing floors to the doors missing. What's happening? I'll tell you. See that rail there? Well, it's an inch higher than this, where the door has to be lifted by 1 inch. All this work for 1 inch. Nothing's easy. 2 hours of messy work and it looks the same as it did before, but wrong. It's different. Raised for the concrete. On to the next. The house was built in 1986, and like any concrete flooring, it had a few spider cracks. So a quick call to Latacrete later, and they convinced me that crack isolation membrane would be a wise idea, and I invested in a bucket of, I think it was Hydro Barrier. So progress is being made, slowly. There's so many things to do. I have got my screed boards down for the first half of the room. We've got the concrete chipped out. We've got the other side level. There's my reference. I have put the concrete bonding adhesive down there. I've got my screed board ready. I've got my bucket, my mixer, and enough dry topping mix to do hopefully at least this section. Last night the door came out. The door got lifted by about 1 inch, which is enough, I think, as long as I don't go more than 1 inch over the screed board, which I don't think would be possible with just tile and mortar. And off we go. Mixing the dry topping mix like this on the floor is pretty self-explanatory, but what I will say is that rewatching it in a time lapse makes it look like much less work than it actually was. I discovered that the threshold area of the garage was wildly out of level, so that needed remedied. The diagram doesn't do it justice, but basically because of the natural slope and hump of the floor to the door, I needed to raise the threshold by about ½ an inch in order for the slope that I was going to create to be flat. After much work, the dry pack leveling is complete and it's game day. I am making some final measurements to the front Renault ramp, to the joint in the center. It's a movement joint, but it's not expecting any movement. It's just a nice break point for where the slope meets the flat. And I think I'm ready to actually put a few tiles on the floor. So what I'm going to do is to mark my start point. My start point is going to be the break point of the flatness, the levelness, and the slope. And then that is going to measure out and probably meet that exactly, but if not, that's got plenty of give forward and back as required. So as soon as I've got one tile on the left of this joint and one tile on the right, and then I can continue in both directions, I think I'm good. And then I can stop worrying. But until then, I will continue worrying. Good luck to me. Onwards. To jump back a step here, once I had figured out where that final front tile would reach to and the width of the Renault ramp, I could go back and concrete that slope from the place where I had raised the threshold to the previous threshold. Final 3 pieces. My back says thank you. It is over. All the tiles are in. Down to the final few days. Last night, final 1, 2, 3 tiles went in. Just need to clean that up. I just mixed up a sample board of grout colors to try and decide what's going to look best with both tiles, because I don't want to mix up the grout colors, but we'll see. I might still do that. I don't know yet. It's a bit perplexing. Other than that, I just need to go around, clean up all the grout joints. Still a little bit of mortar in places. And this weekend, clean this place out and get grouty with it. And approximately 6 weeks, 6 or 7 weekends of work, I've turned a slanted, sloped, crazy garage into a perfectly flat, tiled one. This tells the story. That's where the floor used to come up to over here. It was this high. And you can see in the corner there, that's the old floor. So that has been remedied. Dead flat. Little bit of a slope out. It's gonna be nice. I sure hope it's gonna be nice. I want it to be nice. Step 1 went off without too much of a problem. We have the grout, the dark grout, in with the dark tiles. Still a bit of a haze. I'm going to wash that off later. Step 2, we get up to the next row on the slope here, and we're going to begin with the mape biscuit for the rest of the room. So it should become one large field of biscuit colored tile. Whether it looks as good as I envision it, we will see. Onwards. Well, kind of sort of done, but not really done. There's still some cleaning up of all this grout that I just finished spreading, although this feels like a definite milestone. The front half looks great. Back half is looking okay. A few little touch-ups I need to do and a whole lot of grout haze scrubbing. I'm getting close to calling it victory. Well, the real victory is when I pull the car in and no tiles crack. So until then. Originally, I had planned to just paint that area of the lower wall below the drywall and call it a day, but I think we know what's coming. Getting there. After much struggle and untold misery, the PVC baseboards are in. I don't know if it was obvious in any of the previous video shot, but the lower section is recessed about 1.5 inches, so there's nothing to attach it to. So there was much futzing about concrete screwing bits of wood, so I had something to put the hidden fasteners into. It was not fun. Anyway, it's done. And it took a long time. So we are now in the process of finishing up final stage stuff, caulking, color match, biscuit to the tile, to the grout. Just did this. Got white on top, biscuit on the bottom. Almost done. Very, very close, almost done.